Welcome to our deep dive into The Gift by Dr. Edith Eger.
Oh, a powerful book.
It is. It's a blend of her experiences as an Auschwitz survivor and decades of insights as a psychologist.
It really is. You know, you could say it's like a guide to understanding and escaping those mental prisons that we build for ourselves.
Yeah, without even realizing it sometimes.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Okay.
How did Dr. Eger find the strength to not only survive, unimaginable suffering, but then also go on to help others find freedom?
Well, one of the things that is so striking about her perspective is how she sees Auschwitz as her best classroom.
Oh, wow.
Of course, this isn't about, romanticizing suffering.
Yeah.
But she highlights the incredible resilience of the human spirit.
Yeah.
And the lessons in freedom that can emerge even from the darkest of places.
That's incredibly powerful, and it makes you think, like, if she can find those tools for survival there, they're waiting to be discovered anywhere.
Absolutely.
Like, it speaks to this potential we all have within us to respond to hardship with strength and hope.
And it leads to one of her most potent observations.
Okay.
She says, the worst prison is not the one the Nazis put me in.
Wow.
The worst prison is the one I built for myself.
Oh, that really makes you think, huh?
Yeah.
It suggests we all have this potential.
We do.
To create our own mental prisons.
Yes.
Regardless of past experiences.
Regardless, right. Absolutely.
And these prisons, they can look like all kinds of things.
Yeah. Limiting beliefs, negative thought patterns.
Or clinging to victimhood.
Oh, clinging to victimhood.
Yeah.
Or getting trapped in cycles of resentment.
Yeah. And her work, it really helps us identify these prisons.
Yes.
And then offers a way out.
Yes, a way out.
That's the key part, right?
It is
not just identifying, but then, like, what do we do? And one of the, I think, most helpful distinctions she makes is between victims and survivors.
Yes.
Which is such a crucial starting point, I think.
Yeah.
To even understanding how we think about healing and moving forward.
Well, victims often get stuck in the why me mentality.
Yeah.
Focusing on blame and outside circumstances. Whereas survivors, they ask, what now?
Okay, so it's like shifting that focus.
It is acknowledging the pain.
Yeah.
But then shifting the focus to taking responsibility for their responses and shaping their own futures.
I love that. And it's like she's saying, we can't always control what happens to us.
Right.
But we do have a choice in how we react.
Always a choice.
Always a choice.
Yes.
So for someone listening right now, how would you suggest they try to apply this to actively make that shift?
Start with awareness.
Okay.
Notice when you're caught in that why me loop.
Yeah.
Then gently shift your focus to what you can control. Your attitude, your actions, your choices.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what steps can I take right now to move forward?
I love that. What steps can I take right now to move forward?
Yeah.
And she even shares this really powerful story about her own daughter, Audrey, right?
Yeah. Challenging her on this very point.
Yeah. And it just shows how...
It shows how even with the best of intentions...
Yes.
We can unintentionally reinforce a victim mentality.
In other people.
Yes.
And others. Yeah, because Audrey, she was really trying to help her mom.
He was.
By saying, like, hey, this guilt that you're carrying about the past, it's actually keeping us both stuck.
Yeah.
And so by refusing to see herself as a victim, Audrey was empowering both herself and her mother.
Both of them.
To step into a more empowered narrative, which is so cool.
It is.
Now, Dr. Eger has this great saying, and I love this.
Okay.
She says, if you sit with one butt on two chairs, you become half-assed. Which is such a funny way of putting it.
It is.
But she's illustrating this mental prison we create when we live with secrets.
Yes.
And compromise our authenticity.
Right. Hiding parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
Living a double life.
Yeah.
It prevents us from experiencing
true freedom.
True freedom.
And think about it. Like, have you ever held back from being your true self with yourself or with others? And what impact did that have?
What impact?
On your well-being,
Huge.
And she tells the story of Robin, a patient of hers,
yeah,
who had an affair, seemingly to find some joy that was missing in her marriage.
Right, on the surface.
But the affair was actually masking a deeper secret.
It was, yeah.
Which was that she wasn't being honest with her husband.
About her needs and her feelings.
About her needs and feelings.
Right.
The affair was a symptom, not a solution.
It was, yeah.
It just created more complications and kept her from addressing those root issues. So the takeaway here is that even though it's scary, being truthful, even about difficult things, is essential for a more fulfilling life.
I think so.
Would you agree?
I agree.
Yeah, and secrets, even small ones.
Right.
They just keep us stuck.
They do. They drain energy.
Yeah.
And they prevent us from connecting authentically with ourselves and others.
And, you know, speaking of difficult things, Dr. Eger doesn't shy away from exploring those heavier emotions like guilt and shame.
Right.
Which, let's be honest, so many of us struggle with.
Yes, we do.
She bravely reveals her own battle with survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Feeling unworthy of happiness because she survived when so many others perished.
Powerful.
It is powerful. And, you know, you don't have to have gone through something like that to carry that guilt and shame.
We all carry it.
We all carry it from somewhere.
From past mistakes, childhood messages, perceived failures.
Anything that leads to this belief that we are not enough.
Not enough.
And she even shares the story of not attending her own college graduation.
Wow, yeah.
Because of shame. And that was after overcoming incredible obstacles to even get to that point.
To that point, exactly.
And it's just a poignant reminder of how powerful those emotions can be to hold us back from our potential.
Yeah, and from celebrating our accomplishments.
Exactly, celebrating our accomplishments.
Right.
So how do we break free from these prisons of guilt and shame?
She suggests we start by recognizing and acknowledging these feelings.
Okay.
Instead of pushing them down.
Yeah.
Bring them into the light of awareness.
Okay.
And then we can begin to challenge that negative self-talk.
Yeah.
Replace it with self-acceptance and kindness. It's a process.
It is.
But it's possible to move from self-recrimination to self-compassion.
To self-compassion. And she also challenges this idea that rigidity equals strength. She believes the opposite.
She does.
That flexibility is freedom, not weakness.
Right. She says, when a couple tells me they never fight, I say, then you don't have intimacy either.
Whoa.
It is.
That goes against what we think.
It does.
About healthy relationships, right?
It does, yeah.
But what she's getting at is that true connection.
Yes.
It requires that honest communication.
It does.
Even when it's difficult.
Yeah. Avoiding conflict can be a sign of deeper issues.
Like a lack of trust.
Like lack of trust, fear of vulnerability.
Yeah, but how do we find that balance?
That's the question.
Between healthy disagreement and destructive arguments.
Right.
I think a lot of people struggle with that.
I think so too.
Myself included, you know.
It comes down to being willing to see things from multiple angles.
Okay.
Can you hold your own truth while also respecting the perspective of the other person?
And that requires flexibility.
Flexibility, which can be freeing.
In all areas of life.
All areas.
Not just in relationships.
Exactly.
And of course, we've all experienced resentment at some point.
Of course.
It's a human emotion.
It is.
But she has this powerful way of reframing it.
Oh, yeah.
She says, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
That's a good one.
It's such a vivid analogy.
It is.
And it really highlights that holding on to that resentment ultimately hurts us more than the person we resent.
Way more.
It just festers inside of us.
It does.
Poisoning our thoughts and emotions.
Absolutely.
And she shares her own experience with resentment.
Yeah, toward her husband.
Toward her husband, which she realized
stemmed from her own unresolved grief.
Her own unresolved grief, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a great example of how resentment often points to something deeper.
Yeah.
These unmet needs within ourselves.
Absolutely.
So instead of focusing on the other person, she encourages us to look inward.
Yeah.
What unmet need is driving this feeling?
What am I responsible for in this?
Yeah.
And then she asks this really powerful question.
Okay.
She says, would you like to be married to you?
Ooh.
And it's challenging, but it forces us to look honestly at our contributions.
Yeah, it's about taking ownership.
Taking ownership, yeah.
Right.
Are we bringing our best selves
to the relationship?
To our relationships?
Yeah.
Are we communicating our needs effectively?
Communicating, right?
Yeah, it's a powerful invitation to step into a greater level of responsibility.
I think so.
For our own happiness and the health of our relationships.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about fear.
Okay.
Which is something that can truly paralyze us.
You can.
And prevent us from living our fullest lives.
Yeah.
And Dr. Eger points to certain language patterns that reinforce this helplessness.
Right.
Like she highlights phrases like, I can't.
I need to.
I'm trying.
I'm trying.
It's the language of powerlessness.
It is. And she suggests we replace them
with more empowering language.
Yeah, like what?
I can. I want. I'm willing. I choose.
Okay, I choose. Yeah. So just the subtle shift in language.
It can make a big difference.
Can create a big shift in our mindset.
Yeah.
And ability to take action. And it reminds me of her work with Kathleen, who was struggling with fear and doubt after her husband's infidelity.
Right.
And she felt so trapped in this cycle of betrayal and uncertainty.
Yeah.
And Dr. Eger helped her to shift from that doubt and fear
to self-trust and action.
It wasn't about denying the pain,
right,
but about reclaiming her sense of agency.
Yes.
And making conscious choices to move forward.
Right.
Which is so powerful because it shows that even in those really difficult situations, we have more power than we realize.
More power?
Even small steps can make a difference.
They can, absolutely. And sometimes the simplest shift is in the language we use.
Yeah, it is.
It can be incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
To move from that I can't to I choose.
Now, this next topic can be particularly heavy.
Okay.
Hopelessness.
Right.
Which is this feeling that can really creep in.
It can.
When we're faced with overwhelming suffering or setbacks.
Yeah, it can be tempting to just give in. Surrender to the darkness.
But she shares this very powerful statement from her own near-death experience.
Oh, wow.
She says, when I was strapped in the hospital bed and chose hope, I didn't know.
Oh, she leaves us in suspense.
She does.
Right.
Before revealing what happened next.
Yeah.
A year later, after that moment of choosing hope in the midst of darkness, she received an invitation from Oprah to appear on Super Soul Sunday.
So it's amazing.
It is. It really is.
It's a true testament to the power
of
choosing hope.
Yeah.
Even when we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Because in that moment, she didn't know what was coming next.
Didn't know it.
And her message is so clear.
Yeah.
Hope doesn't mean denying reality.
Right.
It's about finding that strength to keep going.
Yeah.
Even when things seem bleak.
It's about trusting that even when we can't see the path ahead, there's still a reason to keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward. And she's filled this book with such powerful stories of people who have done just that.
Yes.
Who have moved forward. And it's not just about surviving trauma.
Right.
It's about thriving. It's about finding a way to thrive.
Is.
Even in the face of incredible adversity.
Yes. And it's about recognizing that we all have unique gifts.
We do.
To offer the world.
Yeah.
Even if we haven't discovered them yet.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's through our greatest challenges.
Oh, I love that.
That we uncover those hidden strengths. Within ourselves.
And one of the most compelling stories is about Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
Who was grappling with immense grief. After the tragic loss of his wife, Tracy.
It really highlights the devastating impact of unresolved trauma, addiction, and systemic injustice.
Yeah, and sadly, Tracy's story is not unique.
No, it's not.
It reflects the disproportionate violence that Indigenous women face.
They do.
And Daniel was left to navigate not only his own grief, but the responsibility of raising their young son alone.
Right, and he struggled.
He did. He struggled with guilt, anger, and this sense of hopelessness. For years. And it would be so easy to just become consumed by that darkness.
Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't.
He didn't, no.
With Dr. Eger's help.
Through therapy.
He started to confront those emotions. And find ways to honor Tracy's memory.
Right.
While also moving forward with his life.
Yeah, it's a testament to the human spirit's capacity.
It is.
For resilience and healing.
And Daniel's story is so powerful.
It is.
Because it shows it is possible.
It is.
To find meaning and purpose even in those times.
Yeah.
And it's about transforming that pain into something positive. Something that can help others who are going through similar struggles. And she helped him see that grief doesn't have to be a life sentence.
It doesn't.
It's possible to be wounded and whole.
Right.
It's possible to find joy and meaning
Yeah.
Even in the face of profound loss.
And to integrate those experiences into our lives.
Yeah.
And to use them as fuel for growth.
And that idea of being wounded and whole is so powerful.
It is.
Like, we can embrace the fullness of our experience, both the light and the dark.
Yes.
Without letting our pain define us.
Right. It's about recognizing that we are complex beings.
Yeah.
Capable of holding multiple truths at once.
At once, that's a good one.
We can be heartbroken, hopeful.
Yeah.
We can be wounded and strong.
Yes.
It's about embracing those paradoxes of life.
Absolutely.
And finding a way to integrate all of our experiences into a cohesive whole.
That's beautifully said. I love that.
Thank you.
Dr. Eger is also, and we've touched on this a little bit, but she's a powerful advocate for forgiveness.
Yes.
This transformative power of forgiveness. And she makes it clear that forgiveness isn't about condoning or excusing harmful actions. It's about releasing ourselves from that prison of resentment and anger.
Yes. It's recognizing that holding on to those emotions harms us more than the person we're angry with.
Yeah, she even shares a very personal and challenging story about forgiving her own captors.
Her own captors,
It's a story that, it prompts you to think deeply about the nature of forgiveness and the complexities of healing.
It does.
From trauma. And it also, I think, highlights the incredible courage and resilience of the human spirit, because to choose forgiveness
after experiencing
such unimaginable cruelty,
that's truly remarkable.
It's remarkable.
And she doesn't offer easy answers.
No, she acknowledges that forgiveness is a process.
It is a process.
Often a long and arduous one.
It is.
But her own journey just demonstrates that it is possible.
It is possible.
And it's inspiring to see how someone can move through such profound pain and emerge on the other side with a heart full of compassion.
And forgiveness.
And forgiveness,
It gives me hope.
It does. It gives me hope, too.
That healing is possible.
Even from the deepest of wounds.
Yeah, even from the deepest.
Because if she can do it, we can all learn from that.
And, it's not about condoning the actions.
Of those who've harmed us.
Of those who've harmed us,
It's about making that conscious choice. To release ourselves.
From the grip of the past.
From the grip of the past so we can move forward.
Yes.
She also delves into these very real challenges of intergenerational trauma, sharing her own experience of inheriting the unspoken pain of her parents' past.
Of her parents' past,
And how that shaped her own beliefs and behaviors. Which is something I think so many people can relate to.
I think so.
In different ways.
Yeah, in different ways.
And her insights into intergenerational trauma offer such a powerful framework for understanding how the past can impact our lives in such profound ways.
Profound ways,
And it's recognizing that trauma doesn't just disappear.
It doesn't.
With time.
Right.
It can be passed down. Through generations. Impacting relationships, mental health. Even physical well-being. And she encourages us to explore family histories. Ask questions, to listen to the stories. That haven't been told. And to seek healing. For those wounds that have been passed down. Which is challenging work.
It is.
But it can be so transformative.
It can be.
And she's very honest about the fact that healing isn't linear. No. It's a journey.
It's a journey.
Of discovery and transformation. And our understanding of ourselves and our past can continue to evolve.
Absolutely.
And she openly shares her journey of coming to terms with her memories of Auschwitz, the process of piecing it all together and making sense of the unimaginable. She also reveals how her perspective on her own parents has changed. As she's done her own work.
As she's gone deeper,
As she's gone deeper.
Into her own healing.
And it's inspiring to see how she continues to grow and learn.
Even after all she's been through.
And it reminds us that it's okay to not have all the answers.
It is.
And that our perspectives can change over time.
They can.
It's about being open to new insights. And embracing that journey of personal growth.
Embracing the journey.
And something that I found particularly surprising and refreshing about her work is her use of humor
Oh, yeah.
as a tool for healing.
Right.
She infuses her writing with this wit.
With wit.
And a playful approach to language.
Right.
And it's not about making light of these serious topics at all.
No, not at all.
It's about finding moments of lightness and joy.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of darkness.
Even in the midst of darkness.
It's so effective.
It is.
At connecting with people.
Yeah.
Breaking down those barriers and creating this sense of shared humanity.
Shared humanity.
I love that she does that.
It's important.
It's important. It makes her work so engaging and relatable.
It does.
And it reminds us that healing doesn't have to be somber and serious all the time.
No, not at all.
You know, there's room for laughter and playfulness.
There is.
Even as we're confronting difficult emotions and experiences.
It's about embracing the full spectrum of human emotion, including those moments of laughter and absurdity that can help us to find meaning and connection, even in the face of adversity.
And she shares this rather remarkable story about a time she was scammed by con artists posing as water department employees.
Oh, no.
Which initially evokes these feelings of vulnerability, violation. But she reframes it.
How does she reframe it?
As an opportunity for reflection and a touch of humor.
Okay, good.
She acknowledges her own gullibility.
Yeah.
The ways in which, you know, her age
right.
and her trusting nature made her a target. But she doesn't dwell on that.
No.
She chooses to focus on the lessons learned.
On the lessons.
Right. Like, stay vigilant, be aware.
Right.
But also find the humor in the absurdity of the situation. And I think it's a powerful reminder that even when we are victims of injustice or betrayal, we still have that power to choose how we respond.
We do.
We can dwell in the anger and resentment, or we can find those moments of grace, humor, and even forgiveness.
Even forgiveness, that's a good one.
And her choice is so inspiring.
It is.
It's about choosing to see the absurdity.
Right.
And to find a sense of perspective. Which can be so freeing.
It can.
And she does such a beautiful job.
She does.
Of weaving together these powerful stories with those profound psychological insights.
Yeah, it makes her work so accessible.
It does.
And engaging.
Yeah. For readers from all walks of life.
And she shares this incredible story of Andreas.
Oh, yeah, Andreas.
Whose journey intersects with Audrey's.
It does.
In a way that illuminates the complexities of confronting a difficult past. Yes, and what's fascinating about Andreas' story
is he uncovers this hidden legacy of trauma within his own family.
Yeah, it started with those subtle hints. Unspoken tensions, a sense of unease surrounding his grandfather's past.
Like those family secrets.
Yeah. And then piece by piece. Through old documents, conversations with family members, Andreas began to unravel this deeply disturbing truth.
And what was it?
His grandfather had been a Nazi official.
Oh, wow.
Directly involved in the persecution of Jews.
Oh, it's a discovery that would just shake anyone to their core.
It would.
It challenges everything he thought he knew about his family.
Right, and forces him to confront the darkest chapters of his country's history.
And it's interesting how Andreas's journey, it mirrors Audrey's in a way.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're both grappling with this weight of a traumatic past. This legacy of pain that's been passed down.
Right, through generations. Audrey carrying the trauma of her mother's experiences in Auschwitz. And Andreas confronting the guilt and shame of his grandfather's actions. It's just such a powerful illustration.
It is.
Of how the past can reach into the present. And impact our lives in such profound ways.
And what's so inspiring is that they both chose to face those truths.
To acknowledge the pain of the past. And to find a way to move forward. His decision to delve into his family history. To uncover the truth was an act of incredible courage.
It was.
You know, it would have been easier to ignore.
Oh, absolutely.
Those whispers, right. And to protect the family narrative. But he chose to confront the darkness.
He did.
To acknowledge the harm that had been done. And to seek a path towards healing and reconciliation.
And that commitment to truth and reconciliation. is such a powerful message for all of us, I think.
For all of us.
Especially in a world that often feels so divided and polarized.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we can't create a better future.
We can't.
Without first acknowledging
and
addressing the wounds of the past.
Yeah, it's about understanding that healing is not just an individual process, but a collective one.
But a collective one. I like that.
It's about creating spaces for dialogue, empathy, and understanding so that we can move forward together as a society.
And I think that's one of the most powerful takeaways from her work.
From Dr. Eger's work.
That even in the face of unimaginable pain and injustice, there is always the possibility of redemption and growth.
Always.
It all starts with choosing.
It does.
Face the truth.
To face the truth.
No matter how difficult it may be.
No matter how difficult.
And as we wrap up our deep dive into the gift, it's important to remember that this book isn't just about surviving trauma.
It's not, no.
It's about thriving.
About
finding freedom, joy, and purpose.
Freedom.
Even in the face of adversity.
Yes. And it's about recognizing our own resilience.
Yes.
Our capacity for growth. And the incredible power we have to shape our own destinies.
And to embrace that gift of life.
Embrace it.
With all of its imperfections and complexities.
It's messy.
It is messy, but it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Dr. Eger reminds us that we're not defined by our past experiences, but by the choices we make.
By the choices.
In the present moment.
Right now.
You're right.
We can choose to be defined by our past.
We can.
Or we can choose to use it as fuel for growth and transformation.
As fuel.
We can choose to dwell in bitterness and resentment.
Oh, why?
Or we can choose to cultivate hope and forgiveness. And ultimately, it's through those choices that we discover our true freedom. The gift is a powerful testament.
It is.
To the human spirit's indomitable will to survive and thrive.
I agree.
It's a beacon of hope.
It is.
For anyone who's ever felt trapped by their past or limited by their circumstances.
Absolutely. And it's a powerful reminder.
It is.
That we all have that capacity for healing, growth, and transformation.
Yes. And that the greatest gift we can give ourselves is the freedom.
It's the freedom.
To choose hope, joy.
And a light and a life.
Live to the fullest.
To the fullest.
So as we continue to explore Dr. Eger's work, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I would too.
What resonates with you most?
What mental prison might you be ready to escape?
Yeah, it's incredible how their stories kind of intertwine.
They do.
And it speaks to this universal nature
of these themes, whether we're carrying the weight of our own traumas or grappling with like the legacies of our family's histories. There's something so powerful about choosing to face that darkness head on.
It's recognizing that we can't heal what we don't acknowledge. And that true healing often requires us to step outside our comfort zones and confront those difficult truths.
Andreas's journey is particularly striking, I think, because it would have been so easy to ignore those whispers,
To just ignore them.
About his grandfather. To protect that family narrative.
Protect it.
And to maintain that sense of innocence.
But he chose to dig deeper.
He did.
Uncover the truth.
Even though it meant challenging everything.
He thought he knew. About his family and heritage.
And that's where true courage lies. It's not about pretending
that everything is fine or sweeping things under the rug. It's about being willing to face that darkness. To acknowledge the harm that has been done. And to seek that path toward healing and reconciliation.
And that commitment, I think, to truth and reconciliation is such a powerful message for all of us.
It is, especially in a world that often feels
so divided. So polarized.
It's a reminder that we can't create a better future. Without first acknowledging and addressing the wounds of the past. It's about understanding that healing is not just an individual process.
I love that.
But a collective one. It's about creating spaces for dialogue. Empathy. And understanding.
And moving forward together as
a society.
And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from her work.
I agree.
That even in the face of unimaginable pain And injustice, there is always that possibility.
There is.
Of redemption and growth.
Absolutely.
And it all starts with choosing to face the truth.
It does.
No matter how difficult it may be.
No matter how difficult.
And as we wrap up this deep dive into the gift, it's so important to remember that this book...
It's not just about surviving trauma.
It's about thriving.
Thriving.
It's about finding freedom, joy, and purpose.
Freedom.
Even in the face of adversity.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing our own resilience.
Our own resilience.
Our capacity for growth.
For growth.
And the incredible power we have.
Wow.
To shape our own destinies.
Our own destinies.
It's about embracing the gift of life.
The gift of life.
With all its imperfections and complexities.
With all of it.
Dr. Eger reminds us that we're not defined by our past experiences.
By our past.
But by the choices we make in the present moment.
In this moment.
In this moment, we can choose to be defined by our past. Or we can choose to use it as fuel for growth and transformation.
The fuel.
We can choose to dwell in bitterness and resentment.
Right.
Or we can choose to cultivate hope and forgiveness.
Hope and forgiveness.
And ultimately, it's through those choices that we discover our true freedom.
Our true freedom.
The gift is such a powerful testament.
It is.
To the human spirit's indomitable will to survive and to thrive.
To thrive, yeah.
It's a beacon of hope for anyone who's ever felt trapped. By their past or limited by their circumstances.
It's a reminder.
And it is such a powerful reminder.
That we all have that capacity.
We do.
For healing, growth, and transformation.
Yes. And that the greatest gift we can give ourselves.
The greatest gift.
Is the freedom to choose hope, joy, and a life lived to the fullest.
To the fullest.
So as we conclude this deep dive, we invite you to reflect on what resonated with you most.
What mental prison might you be ready to escape?
What gift are you ready to share with the world?
Dr. Eger challenges us to embrace our own journeys. Of healing and growth.
Of healing and growth.
And to use our lives to create a more compassionate and just world.
A more compassionate and just world.
We hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights and inspiration as you continue on your journey.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
Keep learning.
And keep choosing freedom.
Keep choosing freedom.